going on with the going on? Just the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. Just want to handle some business real quick before we get into this build. Um, be sure to join us on patreon.com/hoodmystic. Uh, we do accept donations at Cash App, Hoodmystic38, PayPal, hoodmystic.me/thehoodmystic. And also go to cashers.com. The entire store is 30% off from now until July 4th. So hop on that sale. You also supporting me and my family. Every little bit that counts. On this new journey where I'm dedicating my life completely to this path. And I'm not gonna say I got it all under control. I can't say that I'm completely confident, but I can say that over time I'm getting more comfortable with this new path and dealing with the positives and negatives and understanding that I need support. I'm gonna hope that, that support comes in proper energy exchange with my work versus um, what I get in return. And it may not be anything or it may be something large, but my heart and mind is open to all possibilities at this point. Truly embracing the infinite, truly embracing and emptying my cup and not thinking of myself as just this ordinary person, realizing that I'm special, realizing that I'm more, and not only realizing it, but acting it out and embracing the astrological principles that I study and that I speak to. Now, it would be one thing for me to speak about astrology and not live it, but the whole other vibration is to understand astrology and have it impact your life so deeply that you begin to make decisions in your waking life based upon your observance. And you could swing and strike out, or you could hit a home run. And shout out to my oldest son in Detroit doing his thing in T-ball. Heard he's the best player on the team. Going up there in a couple weeks to visit him, and also any family in Detroit. Me and my wife going to be very active in Detroit, whether it's her doing her womb health, doing various things throughout the city, and me doing particular readings and promoting my wares and promoting my various businesses. So we'll be in Detroit the week of July 4th. And then from there, we'll be in Boston the following week. So 2 weeks, we're going to be out on the road and really doing some soul searching, going to visit my mother, visit my father, spend some time at the beach, collect some things, uh, go visit some Native American mounds in Massachusetts, Newberry's Port Town, uh, go on one of those tours, and really get to know myself holistically. And I tell you, this journey, I understand that it's going to be rewarding at the end, but right now, it's heavy, but ultimately releasing that heaviness and my application and study is kind of what the information that I want to share with you guys today. So hope that I'm coming across clear. I hope that this information makes sense. If you're able to hear me, if we're ready to go with this lecture, just go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you're on the live and you're paying attention and this resonates with you and you like it, very simple. Click that like button, click that share button, add these to your Instagram stories. Spread the word about this movement that we're doing. We're integrating psychology, astrology, spirituality, and we are refining ourselves. We are getting to know ourselves. And I know this because I get plenty of feedback from plenty of individuals who I actually had readings with or just casually listen to my channel. The transformations are real. Whether people are writing books, whether people are starting businesses, whether people are, directing their energy towards their family. I've got in reverence or just thinking about it, the people that I've impacted or the people have impacted me through this medium that we call YouTube. I can't be nothing but grateful and thankful for everybody that has viewed my channel over the years, everybody who's liked my channel, disliked my channel, shared my video, talk shit about me. Um, just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because I'm just a kid from Ohio and I've chosen to not pay attention to my surroundings, but raise my vision to the stars and pay attention to that. And from there, I'm able to now look at my surroundings, which is the Ohio Valley area, and really see the celestial within the nature, and really unifying the celestial, the nature within myself is very tremendous. Uh, Many times over these past couple of months, on the spiritual connection, my connection with nature, I've been moved to tears because, like I said, I'm just a kid from Ohio, and I'm like thought that my life was just gonna be regular, like I was just gonna go to work and I was just gonna be this person. But um, within me, through it all, I've understood that there was more to me, and I say that there's more to you because if you're even resonating with this dialogue, then no matter what you've experienced externally, there's been something internally that said, you know what, there is more to my life. Because let's be honest, the negative things that have occurred in our lives have brought us, if not close to, if not there, to the point of suicide. Because, you know, if you're anything like me, it's like, what the fuck? I've tried everything. And today, I want to invite you to something different, something very close to you, even though it may be unknown. I want to introduce you to yourself, and self being capital SELF. And I want to reference all of the inundation with love yourself and care for yourself and self love and all of these catchphrases and hashtags, and identify exactly what is being said and what we may overlook. So we're dealing with the new moon, July 2nd, 2019, at 16 degrees in the constellation of Gemini. Now, this may be different from Western astrology, but we've been doing this for a while now. So hopefully we understand the difference between Western astrology and Vedic astrology. If not, we can still discuss this. Be sure to email me at hoodmystic@gmail if you have any kind of questions as to why I choose to discuss Vedic astrology over Western astrology. So, with that being said, the 16th degree mark for which the moon and sun become conjunct is speaking to a proselytizing mind. And a proselytizing mind is something of a misnomer. It's something that we do, but we don't really understand the repercussions or the false recruitment that we do. Say for instance we're good at something and then we feel as though the whole world should be good at it. That's proselytizing. That's evangelicalize event, or I don't know how you pronounce it in the verb tense, but the evangelicals, what they tend to do when they try to get you to join Christianity. Every time you go to a church, it's a specific time close to the end around offerings where they invite the converts or the established members to rededicate their lives to Christ, where they're seeking new members into the church. This is proselytizing, trying to get people caught up in your wave. Now, even though I invite people to do things, whether it be donate, whether it be join the Slack, whether it be support me on Patreon, I'm really giving people the choice. And whether people ever supported me, donated, got a reading, anything from me, I would still deliver this content the same exact way. It matters not. It's just an avenue. It's just a choice. And maybe I could, invite people to, do things, and 99% of the people are going to choose not to support me. But that 1% of people who understand, okay, I'll support bro, I give them $2. I resonated with this. Um, that's who I do it for. And the other 99%, I do it for them too, just the same, because it's not necessarily about money. And this is something that I've come to within myself in doing this work. Of course, I'm going to do it, but recently, realizing that it's my job, I tend to want to do it better. And so, this is why the content is going to be driven in such a way that it makes sense as opposed to ponderings of astrology. And so, Gemini in the 16th degree mark is something that we need to understand. We need support, but we don't need converts. Generally, in consciousness, this is what I tend to see. Even me in real life on the internet, it doesn't matter. I'm engaging in consciousness. Oh, you got a metaphysical store. Let me go support it. And the owner there, various owners, you walk into their store, they take you for either a neophyte or somebody that just don't know anything. So they're always speaking down to you as if you know nothing about spirituality, you know nothing about crystals, you know nothing about herbs, candles. They charging $15 for an ounce of herbs that you could go to the grocery store and get for $2. People run amok based upon your particular ignorance, especially when it comes to spirituality. It's fair business in a lot of different areas, in a lot of different realms. What has not happened is fair business within spirituality. There is an inundation of spiritual platforms that one could seek, one could reach out to for particular guidance, and you could buy into whatever particular program. But if that program is not teaching you how to worship and understand yourself, then they are leading you astray. So, in the ninth house, if we want to study astrology and household astrology, and we want to understand what the ninth house symbolizes, the ninth house symbolizes spiritual paths. So, a new moon in the ninth house at the 16th degree mark, we must understand our spiritual path. And our spiritual path comes deep from within us. But the reality is that there are so many different distractions presented before you that you may or may not get to the point of choosing a spiritual path, because everything is now more important than your meditation, than your conversation with self, through developing your intuition, through developing your psychic abilities, which psychic abilities are not like some weird fantasy type of thing. It's literally psychologically understanding that you have a soul. And if one was to understand that they have a soul, then that soul represents that superpower or psychic ability. All knowing, all powerful, matrix mover, seer of the future, seer of the past. We all have this latent within us. And we could watch every single movie, right, that speaks to everything for which I'm saying, and we could imagine it to be in a movie, or we could eventually imagine it to be in our lives. So we'll be discussing the new moon. We'll be also discussing Uranus and Aries square Mercury and Mars and Cancer, and really discussing power, the different levels of power, which I feel is important conversation in developing conscious ability. Because, say, for instance, you have no ethics or you have no real understanding of your psychic abilities. All you want is a bigger house. All you want is a faster car. All you want is a nicer neighborhood. And Spirit is bestowing upon you the omniscient powers of nature, and you don't even utilize it, you don't even realize it, because all you want is a boyfriend. All you want is to get married, have this baby, then have this perfect life. Mind you, everybody that has this perceived perfect life is going through particular challenges and things outside of anything that we could even conceive. So, within the Nakshatra Ardra, we'll discuss karma, and we'll discuss karma in a different way. Finally, we'll discuss the card of the week, which is the lovers slash twins. And also, we do have the article posted up at hoodmystic.com. So generally, you could throw this video up on the TV and have the laptop open and read along with me in the article, or you can have a laptop and open up two tabs and kind of engage into the content. And it's not about me, it's about your understanding of this information. So, uh, the new moon is actually conjunct the bright red star Betelgeuse in the constellation of Orion as well. And what that could signify, as we discussed in the Shaktra Ardra. So let's just get into it. So the idea with the new moon is setting an intention, and setting particular intentions in our lives based upon our particular perception is gonna equate to the intentions that equal out. Some people have intentions to manifest $20. Some people have intentions to manifest $20,000. Some people have the intention to manifest 20 friends. Some people have the intentions to manifest 1 million followers. And in this reality, we see all different variations of a person's personal intentions versus the actual outcome. We see people succeed in their intentions. We see people fail in their intentions. But the idea of spirituality is to stop worrying about everybody else. And this is where the idea of love yourself and take care of yourself comes from. It's the idea of I've been paying attention to somebody else, and now let me pay attention to myself and let me beautify myself. Let me take myself out to dinner. Let me take myself to the movies. Let me go somewhere nice. And now I'm particularly loving myself. But necessarily loving yourself or loving your soul might require you to take care of a kitten. It might require you to stay in, it might require you to love your child that's handicapped and can't really take care of itself. And that's how you show service to the soul. It could be working at a job, even though you can make more money, but you're a social worker and you have a particular connection with these children, and you feel the spiritual connection and the spiritual guidance in your job, and the reward does not come in financial paychecks. It comes in impacting and touching the lives of these children. So therefore, when servicing the self and servicing yourself, it becomes completely different. Honestly, when we truly love ourselves, then everything within this moment becomes actualized and realized into perfection. Only when we love ourself, just one word, things become where I need to better myself. I need to do more. I need to shop. I need to spend money. I need to buy me a new dress. And although we may do all of these things in service to the self, it isn't going to make or break us whether we have on brand new K Swiss or Valenciagas. We're still in the soul. So, we see a bum on the street, we see Donald Trump or Bill Gates. We look at two souls. We don't see, oh, let me show this person extra respect because they have more money or more prestige. So, within the realms of the self, the God within us, and activating that portion of us, one can only say they've actively worked on and engaging and building that self, or one could be actively engaged in, oh, I've been trying to start my business. I've been quitting my job. I've been in relationships. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. I've been in college. I've been out of college. I've been doing all types of shit. I've been hoeing. I've been pimping. I've been doing all types of things. But the reality is, none of that truly matters when you service the self, because the self is a momentary recognition that you can't do and do anything else. We're dealing with the autonomous parts of your inner being that keeps your heart beating, your blood flowing, right? All of these things are done unautonomously, and this is the personal intelligence that we could. This is why we meditate and be still, because we deal with that natural part of us that is very much going to happen whether we think about it or not. So we either recognize the self in those moments of in momentary bliss, right? Momentary bliss is signified as you've been reading books, you've been watching videos, you've been processing information, and your whole body is on board. Like, and then you've been in school and you've had to read chapter 3 before 7 o'clock, and every single word is torture and pain because your soul is like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to read these lies, but we have to get an A on that test. And so this happens to us over time and to so many of us. So many of us make choices that resonate with our soul negatively. So that's a level of being brainwashed. And the brainwashing comes from childhood as we dealing with the ninth house, spiritual, religious, new moon. Uh, the childhood brainwashing is based upon not the religious affiliation, right? Because we've all probably stepped away from the church or our mosque or temples. And even if we are a part of the church, we're still doing whatever we want to do, right? Even we were still smoking weed and having sex how we want to and go to church on Sunday. That's just the thing. But the ideas that we've developed in the actual practice of, that's bad. If it's not like that, that's bad, and this is good. And if you do it like this is good. That's really the spiritual brainwashing that we really need to shake away. And that's a lot harder than not going to church. We could easily not go to church. We could easily denounce church. We find a pastor cheating with his sister's brother. You know what I'm saying? And we stopped going to the church. So but still we still have those religious ideas that we need to kind of shake away, because those religious ideas present us with negative thoughts. And any negative thought that you accept is something that has been given to you by society. Any negative thought that you have, because the soul is perfect, blameless, all knowing, and it rests within you, right? Simple mathematics. Any negative thought, any thought of lack, any thought of I can't, any thought of I won't, any thought that I cannot do this and this, that, and the third, that's a result of not embracing the soul or realizing that the soul or the self is within you. And so stick around for the end of this video and I'll discuss some challenges that I've not came up with, but Spirit has said, put these challenges out there. These is real spiritual things that people can begin to do to change their life and change their frequency. And I don't want to talk about it just yet, but I do want to provide some practical things that you can do. I will be definitely doing, and even the people that I talk to on a regular basis, I'm gonna invite them to do this as well, to really change your vibration. So, this week leading up to this conversation, not by not because it was planned, but by pure chance, the titles of these videos were Empty Your Cup and Embrace the Infinite. And in discussing and trying to get to a point of understanding this new moon, I came to the point of pure intelligence, the mind that once we let go of this world and we embrace, we connect to, that is the mind of pure intelligence, perfect knowing, and perfect, symbiosis. And so that's represented as Cheetah. And part of Cheetah is about emptying your cup and embracing the infinite. And so I thought that was very interesting. And infinite being that our minds are infinite, right? And the human mind is finite. It can only think to a certain level. But we have the self and we have the soul within us that represents the infinite mind. And we could either embrace the finite in all of its glory and greatness, as big as Mount Rushmore and the White House can grow, as large as the flag can sway in the air. Or we can embrace the infinite, our full celestial, past lifetimes, future lifetimes, and cognizance and omnipresence of knowing within this moment, I'm making the right decision. In this moment, I'm sticking to the script that I've created for myself, as opposed to following the script that somebody has written for you. And so tapping into this power. And the reason why we discuss it the way that we discuss it is because one video is not enough. uh, the idea of connecting to your soul is not an easy thing to do, even though it's a simple concept. Because even outside of this conversation, somebody pisses you off and you're ready to fight. You don't give a damn about meditating. You don't give a damn about anything that's being discussed. Because in your mind, you're validated by certain ideals that you've been accepted, ideals about reputation, respect, all of these things you've been given. So I kind of forgot a slide, but I guess we can merge these into one. So we're discussing here, before we get to the next chakra, we'll discuss Uranus and Aries, square Mercury and Mars and Cancer. And Mercury and Mars, the first decan of Cancer, is ruled by the Two of Cups. So there lies within that actual aspect the idea of deep love. And deep love in my real life, when you truly love an individual, if you truly love your craft or art or something that you're creating, when you love it, you put your energy into it. If nobody else likes it, you'll really love it. You'll be really satisfied. Like, I put this effort into my relationship and I'm benefiting from it. And the idea with relationships, is the idea of power. And so power, you can have power in your relationship and abuse that power by not caring about what your partner is experiencing or what your partner is going through, because you base your partnership on expectations or various attachments. And this is not just in relationships, it could be for people who have positions of power and abusing those powers by sticking to particular standards and particular rules. And so there has to be a balance of finding the level of how to balance out your power, because this is awakening in a lot of humans. So people will just quit. People will just stop working for you. People will be ready to fight you if you hold them back, giving people what they don't deserve. These people could be making you millions of dollars in bonuses and you don't even think of kicking back. What you'll see over this time is people either realizing it passively, or they'll separate from you, or they'll realize it aggressively and they'll attack you, whether it's online or confrontational, or actual countries warring, or actual populaces coming together and rioting against particular injustices. This is not something that I would like to see happen, but these are things that have happened in our history. And even so, uh when the last not the last time, but 9/11, the moon was actually conjunct Betelgeuse. So understanding this energy, understanding a actual square to Uranus, right? So Mercury and Mars is square Uranus in the seventh house. And the seventh house deals with relationships. The seventh house deals with relationships, but Mercury and Mars is in the Two of Cups zone. So therefore, it could be actual work related, but it's definitely relationship related and twin soul related and twin flame and soulmate related, where these energies are coming online. And the reality is, you made mistakes. If you chose a partner before you were conscious and you've developed the consciousness, then 10 times out of 10, that relationship is not going to work. And you have to be mature enough to come into that understanding. That's something that I've understood for a long, long time. So I don't have that guilt associated with dealing with somebody or having to break up with somebody that's not consciously aligned to me. But a lot of you do. And you could feed into your partner's bullshit, or you could trust within yourself to know like that's not right, and it may not it might be right for you, but it's not right for me. um but really following the spirit and really following what feels good. I have a quick story. um so yesterday for the solstice, I didn't realize it was a solstice, unfortunately. But what did happen was that the day previously I was just searching online and I was looking at some stuff on segment, and I posted something on Instagram about segment. And then I was I went upstairs for something. Like I rarely go upstairs, and my kids and my wife, they were just laying in the bed. And so I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just lay in the bed with them. And so I was laying in the bed, and John, he was walking around, and John, he knocked over the lamp, and the lamp broke on the Book of the Dead. I was like, I cleaned off the Book of the Dead, and well, I didn't clean off anything at first. I was trying to get a little frisky, and my wife was like, "No, it's like broken glass all over the floor, and you playing around. Help me with this glass, nigga." So I was like, "Okay." So I stopped. I got my mind out the gutter and started to help her with the glass or whatever, and I got everything on the Book of the Dead, and I cleaned off the Book of the Dead, got all the glass out of it, and it was in my hand. And something compelled me to be like, well, crack it open and read it. And so it was just me and my two kids. And we're just laying there, and I crack it open, and I crack it open to the 42 negative confessions. And something compelled me to read out the 42 negative confessions. And so I read out the 42 negative confessions with like veracity. Like I was doing like a speech in front of like hundreds of people. Like I was just saying it with all my heart. And it was just my wife and my two children. And so after that, the next page was an invocation to segment. And I was like, oh, wow. And that really resonated with me. And I posted it on my Instagram. So I have two occasions where I'm posting about segment, and just off of just like pure instinct. And so in doing that, studying the summer solstice, I realized that Sekhmet is the deity of the summer solstice. So I was like, wow, I wouldn't have never even realized that if I wasn't like even aware of my instincts to just be moved to that. I would have like I didn't even put those two things together. And so understanding Sekhmet and understanding her destructive force, she actually comes through to clear out our personal karma. And our personal karma is a real thing. And a lot of people would say karma doesn't exist. And that could be something that exists for that individual person. We want to be mindful of our own personal karma, right? Not not the what's gonna happen to them, or what's gonna happen to my husband, or what's gonna happen to my kids, or nothing of that effect, because our personal karma comes in our personal grief, our personal pain, our personal I never did this. I remember in high school he called me ugly, and all of these different things that we personally deal with. And so since we have personal things, we treat people with shit. We treat people like shit, or we don't take care of the things that we need to take care of, or reach out to certain people cuz we're hurt, and then validate that by not dealing with it, as opposed to saying, you know what, I'm hurt and I haven't cleared out that karma, and I'm living with that karma, I'm living with that pain because I don't know what else to do. So the new moon is like, okay, I ain't about to tell you what to do, but I'm gonna bring all of this shit to the surface, and you're gonna act upon it because there's a lot of activation going on within the celestial. So if we're microcosms of the macrocosm of the stars, then the stars are activating at different levels. It's a different alignment that's going on daily. And this is why we discuss it within our daily energy reading. And if we're not corresponding with the stars, then that's okay, but they'll still have an impact on you whether you know it or not. And so, if we're going to discuss astrology and discuss illumination and all knowing, we have to first clear our conscious, because we can't get to a point of all knowing and the idea of I need to learn everything there is to know that these people have written that was actual lies. So, if I really absorb all of this information, what am I truly absorbing? Lies. And so I base my life on this information that I absorb. I base my life on these books that I read, and I'm living a lie. And it's completely individual, right? It's not something that, if that person is in the Nation of Islam, he's supposed to be in the Nation of Islam. If that person goes to a Seventh day Adventist church, they're supposed to go into a Seventh day Adventist church. You don't need to come through with your conscious ass talking about how the Nation of Islam is bad and how church is bad and how this is bad and how that is bad, and you ain't even taking full inventory of yourself. You got toxic relationships, baby mamas all over the place, baby daddies all over the place, but you want to get in Facebook and clown Christians like you perfect. So therefore, it's something that we need to clear our conscience away, um, negatively and positively, because it is our victories, right, that give us all of the pride, um, all of the, I've been initiated into this. I've studied that. I've done this. I've studied under this master, and all of these things. And then you present yourself. People be like, "Get the fuck out of here. That's not resonating with me. I don't know what the hell you're talking about," because you're dealing with your ego and you're not dealing with the actual natural current that exists. And to deal with the natural current, one would have to clear their consciousness. And this is found in the mythology of Tarkash and Karadakia in Vedic astrology or Hindu mythology. Um, Tarkash was a demon who had got granted a boon from Shiva to rule over the gods. And he ruled over the gods for a long, long time, because the only person that could kill him was the son of Shiva. And the thing about Shiva is that he never had sex. So he never created any beings of perfect knowledge. And somehow he had got seduced by Parvati to create a son, or they consummated at a certain level, and they created Kartikeya. And Kartikeya was a philosopher warrior. Peace to everybody. Um, Philosophy, if you break it down etymologically, it just means the lover of Sophia. And if you study Sophia in the Holy Bible or in Gnostic texts, she just represents the intuitive wisdom or the feminine principle that resides in us, the all knowing, right? Sophia is the actual God in the Bible. She is the feminine principle. She is the creator of the matrix. So much so, look up the etymology of matrix, look up the etymology of womb. All of these things relate to Sophia. So a philosopher is just basically a lover of that wisdom, and one could never grasp it in full totality. One could only search to understand it at a momentary understanding throughout time. And from there, a philosopher warrior is someone who acts out in the divine masculine. And see, this is the unification of one's inner philosopher and warrior. We cannot be all warrior, nor can we be all philosopher and sit and talk about all of this shit, right? And not be out in nature, not be connecting with people, not be speaking truth to power and things of that nature. Or else we subjugate it to a society that's on a course for complete subjugation, rather. And so we are the ones who have to kind of fight against that, and you intuitively know that some shit is rotten in the cotton. Shit ain't right. That's the philosophy. That's the philosopher within you, and in your own little way, you acting out on that is that warrior principle. So when we act out in reverence of Sophia, when we act out in reverence of gnosis or wisdom, then we are and in fact clearing out our karma because we're like shit. And that's what ties into the 42 confessions. It's like, shit, I did not even do none of this shit. Like, and you backtrack all of the things that you've done in ignorance, and you come to a place of clarity and a place of unification of the self and the true self. Once you come to that unification, then you begin to act. If you act upon all of these things that you've accepted, where are you? What are you truly acting out? So the last thing that I wanted to discuss is and that that was actually discussing the nakshatra of Ardra, and Ardra is where the new moon is going to be located. It rules the constellation of Gemini and is also signified by the fixed star of Betelgeuse. And Betelgeuse actually represents good fortune and bringing these martial honors and different battles to surface, and victory and losers and all of these different things. Who gets to tell history? All of these things where, you could be a passive person and you could not be up to the challenge and you could be very, very scared. And that's a choice. Or you could be courageous and ready to fight for what you truly believe in. The idea is, what do you believe in? A lot of you believe in sitting on your couch and watching TV. And even so, you wouldn't even fight for that, So it's like, this world, it could be anything that you want it to be. But when you decide what you want it to be, you have to begin to follow that script. You have to begin to follow that path. So you either have not made a decision, or you're waiting for the decision to be made for you, or you made a decision and you want it to just be simple. And that's not really the case for the lovers, right? Not in the tarot sense. You could pull this card in a reading. Oh, am I gonna fall in love? And you pull the lovers and you're like, oh, I'm excited. I'm about to fall in love. And it's not really like that. Where twin lovers speaks to twin flames or twins, and the idea of twins is not identical. The idea of twins are opposites. That's the true idea of twins, the fraternal. And if we are going to base our connection on opposites, then we have to create a different guide system into forming our relationships and forging our path. If we think that our twin is somebody exactly like us, right, then we've met plenty of people like us and formed relationships with them, and they don't necessarily work out right? Because we have to deal with ourselves. But then we get with people who are not quite like ourselves, very different from ourselves, and maybe I write and you can sing and I can write these songs and you can sing them, or maybe I do beats and you can rap and I can do these beats and you can rap, or maybe I do promotion and you do art and we could come together and create this company. Now, if we both doing art, we competing with each other, right? So when we speak of real growth and we speak of real love, we're speaking of unifying the opposites. And this could go over a lot of people's heads in choosing relationships, because where a lot of people seek attachment, the idea with the twins is actual connection. And so when you're in relationships and you feel bad, it's because you're attached to that person. When you're in relationships and you feel good, it's because you are connected to that person. And the majority of our relationships are based upon attachment and not connection. So, re-examining this lover concept, right? Because lovers to the neophyte means, ooh, it's just going to be real easy and natural, and I just want to fall in love in the most simplest aspect. The adept now looks at love in a completely different way. It realized that is the complete opposite. I'm from the hood. I'm from a broken family. I had a real crazy upbringing. My wife is from the suburbs. She comes from a stable family, and we get to learn from each other. She gets to learn how to be more independent from me, and I get to learn how to be more family orientated from her. And so our relationship is never a force. Anything in my life that I was forcing, I've learned to let go over this past week. And anything that comes in my life from the future is going to be something from me letting go. It's not going to be from me holding on to things. And if I don't feel good about it, I'll be 35 this year. So I'm at a point in life to where I can say I don't feel good about this. I'm going to move to a vibration to which I feel good. I'm going to change the channel. And I know it's people older than me not strong enough to make those decisions, but I'm telling you, when it comes to service of the self, these are the decisions that we must make, right? We have to begin to make these decisions. So that was my presentation on the new moon. I will hope that everybody additionally goes to hoodmystic.com, checks out the article so they could get a deeper grasp, and be sure to look up the names and words that I mentioned so you could get a full understanding for these things on your own behalf. It's not about me being smart, it's about you grasping this information and connecting to your soul as opposed to just listening to me pop shit every now and again. That's not what this channel is for. And so I want to invite people to two challenges that I'll be taking part of in doing this work and studying and just listening and keeping my ears open and heart open and looking for different ways to change my frequency to that of abundance and prosperity and just overall love, travel, really embrace this new ninth house new moon because it also could be a time for travel and great adventure as well. And it's also a time for karma because even at the same time, I actually have to go to court on July 2nd for a paternity case. And this was a situation that happened over 9 years ago. So I could either be in a place where I could, be like, I could be a father to a girl that I haven't been around for in 9 years. And that's the karma, like, that's hella karma that, I've actually had to process. Like, okay, I'm gonna probably have to devote all my attention to this little girl if she my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Even if she ain't my daughter, but, her mom chooses to go about it this way, going through the courts. And I'm just, we don't have to go through the course. We don't even have to go do a DNA test. If you want me to be her father, I'll be her father. But she wants to go about it this way. So, I'm going about it the way I'm respecting her. So that's happening on July 2nd, the same day as the new moon. So that's the overall karma that I have to deal with. Don't nobody else have to deal with that but me. You understand? And that's kind of, like I said, I don't just simply talk about the astrology. It should resonate in my life in real time. So the challenges that I'm coming with outside of that is you may have heard about the 2 cup challenge, and I'm gonna be participating in the 2 cup challenge, and I'm also creating like a more homegrown 30-day challenge. And so I'll discuss those real quick. So the 2 cup challenge is simply, you can look online. There's plenty of like websites, videos that speak to the 2 cup challenge, where you take a cup of water, you write down the negative things, and not even negative, just where you're actually at, and really feel that energy of where you're at, and write on the cup, all of the things where you're at, and then on the next cup, write where you want to be. And before you transfer the old water to the new water, you sit with where you're at, vibrate with that energy, and you transfer that energy into the water. And then after that is done, you pour it to the new cup. And then you sit with where you want to be. You vibrate with that emotional frequency of where you want to be. And when it's complete, when you fully align to that vibrational frequency, then you drink that water. And then the spell is done. And so, yeah, yeah, and it works too. And I'm definitely jumping on that. Shout out to Peace Dealer too. 30-day challenge uh, is something that I've kind of created and just doing this work. Um, and then talking to Nadia on Saturday. Nadia Atkinson, she actually wrote the book Lovers of Libra. So be sure to visit loversofalibra.com if you into erotic poetry. And she wrote a book and she was like listening to this channel and she was saying how I inspire her, and if I inspire her a fraction, and the work that she's created, that's like shit. It made me think of myself like, man, I gotta finish this book. You know what I'm saying? And instead of working on a nonfiction book, because those books are like works in progress, I'm going to write a fiction book in 30 days. I have the concept, I know what I'm gonna write about, but I'm gonna challenge myself in 30 days to start and complete a book starting out. And so y'all gonna be bear witness to this if I fail or succeed in this 30-day challenge. You know, July 22nd, I want y'all knocking on my door. Not literally, but hit me up in the email like, Mystic, what up with the book, bruh? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanna, and it's not something, it's tangible for me. I can write a book in 30 days if I put myself up to it. And so if you come up with a 30-day challenge, don't come up with something like, I wanna be president in 30 days. And you know what I'm saying? I ain't president. Hood Mystic is all bullshit. Like, no, we trying to change the script. And if you're going to change the script, once you change it, you got to stick to it. And if you're willing to stick to a script that you are the one who are creating the script, then it should be all things go. This is much different from following a script that was written for you. And I just want to challenge myself and then challenge my listeners and kind of make this page and make this content deeply engaging and life altering. And maybe some people would do the 30-day challenge with me, maybe they don't. But I'm just really putting it out there that, this is something that um I feel is completely relevant and factoring in this new moon and factoring this. And so with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. If you was on the live, if you watched this video post live, um, just thank you. And be sure to be back with me on Monday as we get back into these daily energy readings and get back into this moon and, trying to understand what's going on. And I'm gonna be here working and trying to figure out what's going on. And so, if it's any feedback, any comments, any likes, any shares, any new subscribers want to say what's up, it's always love. Hoodmystic@gmail.com. New moon happens July 2nd, 2019, around 3 p.m. So get those intentions set, get that energy ready to start over and recreate our lives in our most divine way possible, man. So I appreciate y'all listenership and y'all viewership, and thank you. Have a great day and a great week. Peace.